All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on something we see all the time but maybe don't really see. We're talking about the secrets of how a bird actually flies.
And I mean, have you really watched? You see a bird take off and it's just a blur of feathers, right? It's way too fast for our eyes to catch what's really happening. But trust me, hidden inside that blur is some absolutely mind-blowing precision.
So that's where we're going today. We've got a kind of magic lens for this explainer. Slow motion. It's going to let us stretch out time and see the incredible mechanics behind every single flap. Ready? Let's get into it.
Okay, first step, we're heading into the secret world of flight. And we're not starting with some exotic eagle. Nope, we're starting right in your backyard with the birds you see every single day. You might think they're kind of ordinary, but what they're doing, it's nothing short of genius.
Okay, take a pigeon, for example. In real time, it's just this frantic flutter, and poof, it's gone. But when you slow it way, way down, it is incredible. You see it crouch, just building up all that energy like a coiled spring, then the wings angle just so, and then bam, that first powerful downstroke launches it straight up. What you're looking at is pure physics. It's literally Newton's third law in action. The wing pushes down on the air, and the air pushes the wing right back up. It's just a perfect controlled explosion of power. All right, so now that we've seen that raw power, let's meet a few specialists of the sky. Because believe me, it is not a one-size-fits-all situation up there. Different birds have evolved these incredibly unique toolkits for dominating the air. So on one hand, you got the pigeon, right? It's all about brute force, using those massive chest muscles for an almost vertical liftoff. But then you have the swallow. This little bird is a master of pure agility. See that forked tail? That is not just for show. It's like a high-performance joystick, letting it make these insane hairpin turns to snatch insects right out of the air. It's power versus precision. And how about this matchup? Pure speed versus incredible efficiency. Over here you have the hawk. It's basically a living missile. When it spots its prey, it just tucks in its wings, becomes super streamlined, and dives at these just breathtaking speeds. Now compare that to the marathon runner of the sky, the migratory bird. That classic V formation you always see, that's not just about following a leader. Nope. Every bird behind the first one is actually riding a wave of air, an updraft, created by the wings of the bird in front of it. They're saving a ton of energy over thousands of kilometers. It's just brilliant teamwork. Okay, so we've seen what these birds can do, but the big question is, how? How do they pull this off? Well, now we're going to pop the hood and look at the unbelievable engineering of birds themselves. So let's talk about the wing. How does it even work? It really all boils down to one word: lift. Now, a bird's wing is a lot like an airplane's wing. It's what we call an airfoil. See how it's curved on top and flatter on the bottom? That shape makes the air travel faster over the top, and that creates lower pressure. That difference in pressure is what pushes the bird up. But here is the absolute game changer. Unlike a stiff airplane wing, a bird's wing is ridiculously flexible. It can twist, it can bend, it can change its shape with every single flap. And the wing beat itself? It's this beautiful two-part dance. First, you have the downstroke. This is the power move, right? The wing pushes down and forward, and that's what creates both the lift to stay up and the thrust to move forward. Then comes the upstroke, and this is the really clever part. The wing twists and folds just a little, letting it slice back up through the air with almost no resistance, getting into position for the next big power stroke. Down, up, down, up. It's amazing. And it's not just about the wings. This is what's so cool. A bird's entire body is a flight machine. I mean, the bones are hollow. This makes them super lightweight, but also surprisingly strong. Their breastbone, what we call the keel, is huge because it needs to be a solid anchor for those incredibly powerful flight muscles. And get this, the primary feathers out at the tips of the wings, they can move on their own, kind of like fingers, giving the bird this super fine-tuned steering. Every single part is optimized for flight. Okay, so you might think you've got the rules of bird flight figured out now, right? Well, just when you do, nature throws a curveball. Along comes a creature that basically looks at the rulebook and just rips it up. And here it is, the magnificent little rule breaker, the hummingbird. I mean, this is where flight just gets weird in the best way possible. It doesn't flap its wings up and down like other birds. Instead, it beats them in this horizontal figure-8 pattern, so fast it's just a blur. And because of that motion, it can generate lift on both the forward stroke and the backward stroke. Nobody else can do that. And what does that mean? It means it can hover perfectly still in midair. And it's the only bird on the planet that can truly fly backward. It's less like a bird and more like a tiny biological helicopter. It's just insane.
So let's step back for a second. We've looked at the power, the agility, the engineering, the rule breakers. When you put all those pieces together, what's the big takeaway here? What have we really discovered?
Here's the bottom line. A bird's wing is an all-in-one marvel. It is so much more sophisticated than anything humans have ever built. Think about it. An airplane needs separate engines for thrust, wings for lift, and a tail for steering. A bird? It does all of that with one single elegant structure. It's a propeller, a wing, and a rudder, all rolled into one. And what we're really looking at here isn't just a clever design. It's evolution's perfect solution. This is the result of millions and millions of years of trial and error, of tiny adjustments, of constant refinement to create the absolute best way to conquer the sky. It is, without a doubt, one of nature's ultimate masterpieces. So I hope the next time you look up and see a bird take flight, you don't just see a bird anymore. I hope you see the explosive physics of that takeoff. I hope you see the incredible, flexible engineering of the wing. You'll be seeing millions of years of evolution playing out right in front of you. Now that you've been let in on the secrets, what will you see?